Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. It is 2 p.m. Today is Monday, December 12th. It's our normal scheduled time for our group mentoring session. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we'll get started shortly. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and then we can cover whatever you guys need help with. It's going to be a few moments to update this real quick. Shouldn't take too long. All right, a couple more things here to update. And we should be good to go. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, I'll give a few moments for people to make their way in real quick. All right, so let's see. Looks like people are still making their way in, so I'll give a few more moments for people to join in. I'm also going to post this up in the social media pages. So guys, we got some new people who joined in, and they were asking how to install MT4 on your iPhone. Unfortunately, there isn't a solution right now from what I know. I don't know if anybody has a specific solution, but I personally don't know any way to get that installed. So I mean, if anybody has any solution to that, it'd be cool if you guys could share it. But for the most part, I think you just have to wait it out, or for the most part, just use your computer, which is what is recommended anyways. Right here. All right, so looks like we're ready to go. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. As you guys know, this mentoring session is meant for you guys. So whatever you guys need help with, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and I can answer whatever you guys need for me to clarify. Otherwise, I think the main focus for today is just going to be a review of the main strategies that we're applying, and then also the trades that came up today. So there was actually a lot of entries that came up today. I only took 2 of them. If you guys were on the live session today, you guys saw my profits that we took live. So we took 2 trades today. We took one trade over here, which was at about 6:49 a.m. It was right after the opening candle right there. We took that right there. I locked in about 1,000 per account. And then, so these are all my accounts right here. Locked in about 1,000 off my main account, or 900, 1,400 off my copier, 1,050 off my MFF, 1,850 off my MFF number 2, 1,050 off my MFF number 3, 1,600 off my TFF, and then for my personal account, locked in 36. I also took another trade here at about 6:59, about 10 minutes later. It was literally the following buy signal right there. That one also hit my full TP, total profit of 1,700 off that one. Copy right here, 2,210. MFF number 1, 1,600. MFF number 2, 2,410. MFF number 3, 1,710. TFF 2,232, and then my personal account over here, 40 total. So, I mean, it was a pretty good morning. There was actually a lot of entries that came up after. So we'll go over that stuff. But I mean, other than that, I don't really have anything to cover today. So if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll go over the entries from today, and I'll just go over the requirements for those specific strategies. And then, we'll take it from there. So basically, this entire day was bullish. So that's literally all that we were looking for pretty much all day today. So I'll start off by going over the entry that we took this morning. And then from there, I'll go over other examples here that would have came up. So just going back to this here, let me just go over the requirements. Let's go to that first entry, which was 650. Was this one right here, or about 646. So I'll just replay it to that candle right there. So 646, that time was also right here, I believe, on the 5-minute. 646 right there. And then here on the 10-minute, same thing. Let's replay it to that time period. There we go, 650. All right, so let's just go over these requirements here. So this is the entry that we took during the live session. The first one we took, right over here, applying the momentum scalp strategy. So looking over the requirements, I'll put them right here. For the first requirement, you want to confirm that you're trading in the direction of overall trend. So to do that, you want to make sure that the trend is the same on the 10-minute, 5-minute, and 1-minute. We'll start off with the 10-minute over here. You can see that the 10-minute is bullish. The reason for that is because price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, and the pivots are angling up. You're going to look for the same thing on the 5-minute, which is clear right here. Price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. And then lastly, here on the 1-minute, same thing. Price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, and the pivots are angling up. So once you've, confirmed all that stuff there, you can move on to the next step. So for the next step right here, you want to confirm momentum on the 10-minute time frame. So looking over here, looking at the most recent momentum signal, we have a bullish buy signal right there, right? So we have a bullish bias here on the 10-minute. That's going to confirm number 2. For step 3 over here, you want to confirm the momentum on the 5-minute. You're basically looking for all of these to line up so that you have a very high probable trade that price will continue in your direction once you enter the trade. So buy a signal right here, step 2, buy a signal right here, step 3. For step 4, this is going to be the catalyst. So once you've confirmed steps 1 through 3, once you get a buy signal here on the 1-minute, this is where you're going to make your entry. So going down to the 4th step right here, confirm momentum on the 1-minute time frame. Looking at this chart right here, you can see that we have a buy signal. So you can move on to the next step, enter on the close of the 1-minute momentum candle. So once you confirm that, you can enter your trade right there. Your TP stop loss is fixed at 100, 300. Once you have it set up right there, that's pretty much it. You let the trade run. Some retracement right there, shoot right back up, and full TP. So this is the same exact trade we took right over here during the live session at 646. Same trade right there, and profit taken from that specific trade. So it's pretty solid. Not a bad move at all. So quick profit right there. And those are my profits from all my accounts of that specific trade. We had another one that was right after it. So right after this trade right here, I think we push forward a little further. So there goes a retracement signal right there. And I think another buy signal came up over here again. There we go. So another buy signal right there, right? Same thing right here, confirm overall direction of trend. It's still bullish, so you don't have to confirm that again. It's still the same as it was earlier. Step 2, still buy signal there on the 10. Step 3, still a buy signal right there on the 5. And then 4th, this is the catalyst for entry, buy signal on the 1-minute. So once we have this buy signal right here on the 1-minute, this is again where you would take the same entry using the same exact strategy all over again. Entry right there. Let the trade run. Close to TP, blasted right through TP right there. So those are the 2 entries that we took here during the live session. That was the one prior was right here at 646. And then the one I just showed you was right here at 656. So literally 10 minutes after. We had another entry right after. And then for the day, I locked in this much profit on my FTO number one main account, 1,700. Here's my copier, 2,210. My MFF, 1,610. MFF2, 2,410. MFF number three, 1,710. TFF, 2,232. And then my personal account right here, $40. So total profit right there for the day and for the week so far was a total of 11,972. So wasn't too bad. And that's pretty much the ones that we took here. So what we'll move on with next is the other entries that came up after. So let's see. There was another entry that came up right here, I believe at that is the same one we took. There was another one that came up over here at 7:55. If you guys remember this during the live session, this one came up, but it was an invalid signal and price was kind of ranging a bit. However, this entry right here would satisfy the requirements for the other strategy, which is the high-low momentum pivot scalp. So this strategy is pretty much the same thing. The only difference is that you're identifying the zone where price bounces off of. So looking over here at the first requirement, you want to identify momentum signal. We have a buy signal right there. Draw a zone at the high low before momentum. This is the low prior to this signal. Confirm momentum is rejecting off the high low zone. You can see this candle here is pushing away from the zone. Confirm trading the overall direction of trend. So right here, we'll pull up the multiple charts. This entry came up at 7:56 or 7:55. So I'll just move this forward a little bit, a few candles. 7:55, which is right here. It's still pretty bullish, right? Price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. This is going to confirm a bullish momentum, bullish bias overall. Same with the 10-minute over here. So same with the 10-minute, it's still very bullish, right? So 10 minutes bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 1 minute's bullish, because we have the entry right here. Once we've confirmed that, you can enter on the close of the momentum candle. Again, right there, you enter a long position right there. TP stop loss set at the default settings. You let the trade run. And there you go, full TP on the next candle. We identified this during the live session, but I didn't take it because for one, it was an invalid signal. It doesn't really matter too much if it's invalid, but during the market conditions at this time, price was like ranging for a while and we didn't want to get caught in a risky trade. So that's why I skipped this one here specifically, because the market just wasn't moving the direction that I wanted to. I think there were a couple other entries here that came up as well. So this one right here. So after 8 o'clock is typically my cutoff, right? So this is why I stopped trading around 8, because you guys can see we had this bullish push up until 8. And then once you got to 8 o'clock, generally from 8 to like 9, sometimes 8 to 10, you start to get this unusual price movement, right? So you can see right here, our price kind of pushed up, but realistically price was going sideways. So this wasn't a good area to trade to begin with. Right there, price was consolidating, right? What is one of the main red flags? To avoid trades when price is ranging, especially when price is ranging tightly. So you'd avoid trades when price is near sessions, near opening price, near news price, and or when candle prior to entry is too large. Also, if price is ranging like it's moving right here back and forth, you don't want to take a trader on this area because this leaves up opportunity for manipulation, because price can really go either direction, right? You want to trade when price is going up. So you don't want to trade when price is doing this. You want to trade when price is doing stuff like this. Right? Because if price is moving like this, you can enter a buy position down here and you'll go straight to your TP. If price is going sideways like this is where it becomes iffy, because it's easy for you to get caught in this manipulation of price before it reaches your TP, right? Because I'm pretty sure it swings right back up after. Right? So like right here, basically where I mark it up from between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, you can see how price just goes sideways. This is typically why I stopped trading at 8 o'clock. Because this always happens where price goes sideways. Then you'll see over here after 9 o'clock or maybe around 10, price starts to pick up a bit more. So it goes sideways for a bit, basically from 8 o'clock up until 10 o'clock right here. Right, a lot of rangy movement right here, but eventually price ends up catching its direction again. And then it starts to move directional like a little later past 10. So it does range for a while. It ranges actually until like noon, I think. Actually ranges the whole session. It starts to pick up right here at noon. So around 12 o'clock right here, price starts to pick up again. But pretty much everything before that was sideways. That's why I typically don't trade between 8 and 10. So you'll see my live session go on from like 6:30 to 8, and then I'll take a break for like a couple hours, and I'll come back like around noon and see if there's anything there to take. But usually I'll just call it a day because I'm like pretty much satisfied with my profits. But you guys can see over here, basically between 8 and 12, it was just a really big range, right? Literally like right here. You'll see there's a couple fake outs, but realistically, it was just a really big range. So this is the range right here. Couple fake outs right here. But then it just gets pulled right back into the range. You guys can see how many fake outs came up over here, like 4 fake outs. This is the real range. Fake out, fake out, fake out, fake out. And then it finally, well, one more fake out right here. And then at noon, price finally breaks out above it. So this is why I typically just tell you guys, if you're satisfied with your profits and you've reached your profit goal by 8, just call it a day, because typically you're going to run into these types of issues when you guys are trading. You'll still find entries here. Like, for example, there was like one like big fake out right here immediately at 8, but you can see after that, there was actually a lot of entries that you could have taken. So I'll just eyeball it from here. So this one right here would have been a fake out. You would have lost this trade if you had taken it. But if you took any of these other trades here, bunch of winners right here. That one would have won. This one right next to it would have won. This one right next to it would have won. There's a lot of winners here, but it really depends on your risk appetite. You don't want to look for every single trade. You want to look for only the highest quality trades. Price is ranging right here, so I would have skipped all of these trades here because they're all just in a range. The range is big enough where you can take trades, but it's not worth the risk because you're going to be risking, like, there's a couple wins here, but you get really close to getting caught in these trades. Like, for example, if you get greedy, a lot of these barely hit TP before they come back down. So if you don't pull out in time, or if you just like hold on to it longer than you need to, you can end up in a tight position. So, I mean, just looking over here, there's a lot of entries I would have hit. But in my perspective, even though they do hit, they're not trades that I would personally take myself, because I'm not looking for every single trade. I'm looking only for the best trades because I don't like to lose trades. And I also don't like to take unnecessary risk. So there's about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, the problem with this here is that the sessions is right there too. So you would have skipped this one, even though it would have hit, because it was right at the sessions. It would have hit TP, but you would have skipped it. This one over here, the trend wasn't very bullish at this point. Yeah, trend was actually bearish. So you would have skipped this one too. So I'll just delete these because you wouldn't have taken these trades, even though they would have hit their full TP. This one right here again was at the session, so you wouldn't have taken this trade, or you shouldn't have. This one right here again at sessions. Sessions right here. This one right here actually would have been okay. So this is one that I probably would have taken because very bullish, prices away from the sessions. There's enough space here to hit your TP. So this one's one that I probably would have taken. And then again, one last one over here. So there are a lot of entries here that you guys can take, as you guys can see. But due to the risk, I especially wouldn't have taken this initial one right here because range here was so tight, and I wouldn't have taken any of these either. There was 3 back-to-back wins here, but price was in such a heavy range that or not even range, it's a consolidation. It was a tight range where price was consolidating heavily, and I wouldn't have wanted to take a risky entry at that point. So I actually might have taken this one though, not this one for sure, because it didn't fit the criteria for this specific strategy. But looking at this one right here, this one might have been, let me see. Yeah, this might have been one that I would have taken because this would have lined up with both strategies. Actually, no, I wouldn't have taken it. It doesn't line up right here with this buy signal. Let me see. What about this one right here? So this one possibly, because this one does fit criteria. And this one was actually cleaner. There's like little to no drawdown. So maybe this one, for sure not this one. Definitely not this one. Not this one either. This one possibly. This one over here, I probably wouldn't have taken this one. There was no confirmation of rejection from the zone. Maybe this one right here, possibly, not for sure, but possibly. Yeah, not this. It was at the sessions. And that's about it. Maybe like these two right here, and then possibly these two over here, if I was looking. But typically, I'm not trading around this time right here, especially. But if I do come back afternoon, this would be one of the entries, and this would be the last one. So let's see. Question from Will. Will is asking, I was wondering if sometimes it's better to wait for small pullback after the buy signal. Like this morning, it went to drawdown. It depends on the candle, Will. So like if you're looking at the candle and it doesn't close smoothly, then yeah, it'd be better for you to wait for that pullback, because if the candle's not moving smoothly, then the candle is very indecisive, right? So like the candle from this morning that you're mentioning, like I got into that one late, not because I did it on purpose, but it was because the candle didn't close properly, right? It was this one right here. So the problem with this candle right here, when we're watching it during the live, is that you guys can see how there's a pretty big wick on top and a pretty big wick on the bottom, right? There's uncertainty as to the direction of price, right? Because what happens here is when price pushes up, the buy signal comes up. When price comes back down, the buy signal disappears, right? So you can't really enter the trade right away unless you're like for sure it's going to close. So that's the reason why I didn't get into it right away, because this right here, and I'll just put the criteria right there. Let me see. So this one right here was not a for sure candle, right? Like whenever you look at a candle like this, so this one right here has no wick on top, right? So if you're looking at something like this, you could easily take it right away because you know the candle is going to close with the buy signal. This one over here is different because you have a wick on top. So if you rewatch the live session, you can see that I was waiting for it. I was like patiently waiting for it to close. And then at the last couple of seconds, it would disappear, reappear, disappear, reappear. So when you see something like that, then yeah, maybe you should wait for it to retrace. And that's the only reason why I waited. I didn't necessarily wait because I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait on purpose. I waited because I was waiting for it to actually close. So right here, you can see how it went to some drawdown. And then eventually it came up and hit CP. That's how I entered it, because I put a pending order there and I just caught it as it rode up. Let me look at the next one over here. Okay, so this one right here, you could enter right away, right? Because as I mentioned, this one has a wick on top. This one doesn't have wick on top. So as soon as this candle closed, you could have entered buy right then and there, which is what I did. And then you could have just let the trade run. So I don't purposely wait for it to pull back like that. I mean, if you want to do that, you can, but odds of you missing the trade are very likely. So you can't be thinking too much when you're scalping, right? When the trade comes, you gotta hop in and take that trade. If you don't hop in and take the trade, it's going to be at TP already and you can't enter late. So it just depends on the type of candle. Well, you know, if the candle doesn't close properly, then it's going to be a little difficult for you to like, you know, enter it. But you can kind of tell, like whenever you look at these signals here, so let me go forward a little bit. So looking at this one right here, like even the other one that came up towards the end of the session at 7:55, see, this one was invalid. So you can't even tell if this one's going to close properly either. So like, for example, this one, if you waited, which is what I would have done, I would have waited for it if I was going to take this trade, you would have missed the entire move, right? Because it went straight to TP right after. So sometimes you just got to go with your gut. Like you got to go with your intuition. If you feel comfortable with it and you think this trade's going to hit, then hit that entry, right? Because if you wait a split second here, by the time you think about it or you're done thinking about it, it already hit your TP. At that point, you can't even take the trade. But it's fine, because if that happens, just skip the trade and move on to the next one. I think there was a couple other ones here. Not this one specifically because price was ranging. But again, right here. So this candle over here had a wick on top. Kind of difficult to see, right? Because you weren't sure if it would close. So I probably would have waited on this one. This one right here would have been better. There's a wick on top, but it's not very big. So this probably would have closed with the signal intact. This one, again, invalid. Probably would have held off on that one. This one right here maybe would have taken that right away. This one, again, wick on top's not that big. This one again. So you can tell, like, if you see these candles here, whenever there's like little to no wick, you got to hop into it right away because you'll miss the entire move. But if the wick on top's kind of big, or not huge, but like, you know, big enough, it's probably going to be harder to get in right away. Like, for example, this one, literally no wick on top, would have blasted right through to your TP. Yeah, no problem, Will. It's just going to come with practice, right? Like the more and more that you practice and the more that you see these entries come up, you're not going to think about it as much. Like, for example, for me, like I didn't think twice about waiting for this candle here to close. When I saw the candle like appearing and disappearing with the signal, I was telling you guys like, okay, I'm going to wait for this to actually close, because sometimes it's better to actually wait because sometimes you'll get into a trade and that buy signal is not going to be intact, right? And at that point, you're screwed because you're in a position that's not even a real position. So it just comes with time and practice. Like realistically, it all comes with experience. Like for me, whenever I trade live, I don't have to think about it. I just take the trade when I see it. And if everything lines up, then, solid, I'll let the trade run. See, Gion's asking, what's your default risk to reward ratio? It's 100, 300, Gian. So 100 TP, 300 stop loss. I know a lot of you guys don't like the negative risk to reward, but the reason why I do it is just for a safety net. Because whenever I enter these trades, like I mentioned, I only take quality trades. So like the ones that we took over here, I only enter them if like I know for sure these trades are going to hit. So I never expect to lose the trade when I do take these entries. But if I do lose a trade, the market's probably not moving in my favor. So if that's the case, then I'll typically just wrap it up for the day. So it just comes with confidence, right? Like whenever you take a trade, you'd have to be confident with your move. So like for me, whenever I take a trade, I make sure I check off all the boxes. Like looking over here at the requirements, I make sure that I check off literally everything. So if everything's met, then you should be good to go. And these strategies have been tested, time and time every single day. So that's how we know and we're able to trust it. Let's see. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We don't really have anything scheduled for today. So, I mean, the session's going to go on for as long as we have questions. I can show you guys some examples here. I mean, you guys have pretty much seen all the examples here for the momentum scalp. Let me see if I can find some examples over here for the high-low momentum pivot scalp, which is pretty much the same thing. There's like one right here. I know there's sessions right there, but I'm just going to use this as an example to show you guys. So let me go over the requirements for that strategy again. Since we don't really run into this strategy as often, it doesn't come up as often as the momentum scalp. But when this one does come up, it's usually going to be for sure a hit because it pretty much combines a momentum scalp. However, you're also looking for price rejection off structure. So again, right here, identify momentum signal for step one. We have a buy signal right here. 2, you want to draw a zone at the high low before momentum. So if you're looking for a buy entry right here, you want to look for the low. If you're looking for a sell entry, then you want to look for the high. Since we're looking for a buy right here, we're going to go ahead and draw our zone right down there, right? Once we've confirmed 1 and 2, we'll go to step 3, confirm that momentum is rejecting off the high low zone. So the zone that we drawn right here, you can see that this candle is pushing away from it, right? So that's going to be step 3. Step 4, you want to confirm trading the overall direction of trend and momentum using the pivots and trend meter. So looking over here on the other time frames, everything's bullish on the 10, 5, and 1. So that's going to confirm step number 4. It's not going to be as easy as this when you're doing it real time because the candles are going to be moving. But that's why you typically want to confirm this before. But since we have 2 different charts here, we're always going to confirm it before we make any entry because the catalyst for entry is going to be the momentum signal. The only difference is that this zone right here that we draw is going to be the extra requirement. So once you have everything met like that, you take the entry right here, TP stop loss set to 100, 300, let the trade run. We'll TP right there in about 2 minutes. So it's pretty simple. I mean, straightforward. Gian, if you have any questions, let me know. I know you're starting to get the hang of everything here. So if there's anything that you need help with or anything that you want me to clarify, just let me know and I'll cover it for you. If you guys, any of you guys here, if you guys have any questions, the floor is open to you guys. So whatever you guys need help with, let me know and I'll cover whatever you guys want me to review. We pretty much covered the 2 main strategies we use here for the live session. The only other strategies I use are for Forex. We do use the zone strategy, but lately I haven't been using them as much because of the there's just too many zones. Like we can't really take entries and price isn't really breaking past them. Typically when price breaks past them, there's no other zone above. So I can't even take another trade from there. So what I've been applying here is basically the same strategy here, momentum scalp, but I'm doing it on the on Forex on the higher time frames. So let me go over here real quick. And I'm just going to put the same strategy over here. Momentum scalp. Intraday swing. right? So, I mean, this is pretty much same strategy. It's just on the, it's just on the higher time frames. So this is what I mean about like using these strategies on pretty much all assets. You can apply this on whatever you guys feel like. You know, it's really up to your preference. So let me check this real quick. 4-hour time frame. I think that's what I set it to, right? Yeah, daily, or actually 8-hour. 8-hour. 4-hour. And I'll show you an example of this. You guys don't have to apply this because I know not all of you guys like to trade Forex. This is just for people who want Forex entries. When I take these trades, I just set forget them. TP set at next nearest untested high low. Stop loss. Equal distance away for 1-1. So this strategy is pretty simple. I mean, it's literally the same thing. So let me see if I could find an entry here to show you an example of like what I mean. All right, we can just look at this one right here. This will probably be a easy example for you guys to see here. All right, so looking at Euro USD right here. First, you want to confirm that you're trading in the direction of overall trend, right? So I'm going to open up the other time frames over here. This timestamp is Wednesday, November 30th at 1400 hours. So Wednesday, November 30th. I mean, it wouldn't matter because it was bullish here pretty much ever since. It's been bullish from that date up until now. So it's not really making a huge difference as to like, you know, where we place this, because either way it's going to be, it's been bullish like this whole time. All right, so I'll just mark this up so it'll be like you're doing this real time, like you're actually analyzing this as it's happening. So again, over here, let me go over here to the requirements. It's like literally the same thing we're doing for scalping. We're just doing it on the higher time frame. And since it's on a higher time frame, the TP is going to be a bit different. You can't really use a fixed TP stop loss, especially because the Forex pairs over here, they move differently. They're not like US 30 where you're just trading one asset. All these Forex pairs are a bit different. So first you want to confirm that you're trading in the direction of overall trend, right? The daily over here is bullish. You can see prices above the pivots, trend meters green. Same on the 8-hour right here, same exact thing. Prices above the pivots, trend meters green. Sorry guys, I gotta fix this. All right, so bullish here on the 10-minute, bullish on the daily, bullish on the 8-hour, bullish on the 4-hour, right? So we've confirmed the overall direction of trend. Everything is bullish. Next, you want to confirm momentum on the daily. Right here, we have a buy signal, so that confirms it here for step 2. Step 3, confirm momentum here on the 8-hour, bullish buy signal right there. Confirm that as well. Lastly, here on the 4-hour, you just want to confirm a bullish momentum signal here, and this is going to be our catalyst for entry. So right here, you have a bullish momentum signal right there. You take a long position right here. This is where the next high is that's untested. So TP set at nearest untested high low. This high here hasn't been tested yet. Since you're looking for a buy, that's where you're aiming for. You typically want to round it down because you want to cover the spread. So right here, it's about 90.4 pips. I'm going to round this down to 85 just to be on the safer side, right? You don't have to round it down. You can leave it at that. But, you know, from my perspective, if price is like really choppy, you want to make sure that you don't get caught in any like back and forth movement here. Or if you do reach that point, there's a couple different ways to manage this position. You can either move your stop loss in profit and then let it run, or you can move your stop loss to the TP and continue to let it run. For me personally, I don't really care about all that because I don't even like trading Forex anymore. I only trade these and call these signals for like the people in the group who want Forex trades. I mean, I've grown my account pretty decently. I've grown it like 10% last week. You guys can see here my account balance. This is my personal account. This is my live real account money. I put 10,000 in this account, or like under 10,000, like maybe 9,500. I just transferred it over from my other account. And then now I'm at 11,041. So this is my actual live account for myself, my personal account. I just let the trades run. I don't even really move stop loss and profit. The only time I move stop loss and profit is when I don't feel good about the position. But for the most part, I pretty much just let the trades run. I had 2 trades win last week. They were both a 5% gain. So that's why I'm up $1,000. So $1,000 out of a $10,000 account or less is a 10% gain. So anyways, here's the entry. Let the trade run. You can see it bounces around. And then here is what I'm talking about. Like at this point right here, you can either take profit, or if you want to keep running in this position, you just move your stop loss and profit from this point. So as price continues to move up, you move your stop loss to the full TP right here. And then you just keep riding it. And you can just keep trailing your stop higher and higher and higher if you like. It's just too much work in my side, like in my perspective. I'd rather just take the profit. You know, I'm taking a 5% risk. I'll take that 5% and I'll just call it a day. And that's pretty much how you guys apply this strategy. So if there's anything here that you guys want me to clarify, you know, let me know. It's literally the same strategy that we apply for the live session. It's just on a higher time frame. So this is literally all I'm doing for these Forex trades. I mean, it's kind of similar to the SR zone strategy, but as I mentioned, there's not very many SR zone entries available. So that's why I'm kind of changing it up a bit here. It's not really a big deal. I mean, this is literally the intraday strategy. It's just the only difference with this here is that we're using the high lows as target price points instead of using a fixed TP stop loss. So that's an example for your USD. Here's an entry for USD CAD. Still running right now, but this trade came up last week on Friday, so I couldn't take this trade. You know, I don't hold trades over the weekend. There's another one that happened right before it too, like over here. So this was prior on Monday. Right over here, same thing. You know, confirm overall direction of bias. This was on December 5th, Monday. So if I go and rewind this over here, you guys can see that it was pretty bullish as well. It wasn't very bullish, but it was decently bullish. So like this probably would have been an iffy entry. I wouldn't have taken it, but if you did want to take it, this does meet criteria. So overall direction of trend here is bullish. The daily is bullish. It's not very strong. It's neutral actually because the trend meter is blue. The price is above the pivots and pivots are angling up. So this is somewhat bullish. 8 hours for sure bullish. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Price is above the pivots. And the 4 hour over here is also bullish. So with that said, we move on to the next step. Buy signal on the daily. Buy a signal on the 8. Buy signal on the 4 right here. This is where you make the entry because this is catalyst. So this is the catalyst for entry. Long position right there. Target TP is going to be right here. 69 pips. It's 69 pip stop loss. And you let the trade run. Full TP. So super simple strategy, as you guys can see. It's literally the same thing we're doing on the live session. It's just we're on a higher time frame and for Forex, because you can't scalp on Forex. I mean, you technically can, but it's not going to be as smooth as US 30 because the spread's so wide. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, you know, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't really have anything else to cover today. If there's any more examples you guys want me to cover, if you guys want me to go over any other examples for the scalp strategies, you know, just drop your questions in the chat. I don't really have anything else for today. So if there's nothing else, we'll probably be wrapping this up a little early today. But if you guys do have questions, you know, feel free to pop them in the chat and then I will cover whatever you guys need help with. But I mean, for the most part, I think that's pretty much it. You know, I try to keep things as simple as possible. I'm not trying to confuse you guys with all the other strategies. I just want you guys to focus on, if you want to trade Forex, just one strategy for Forex or two. And then same with US 30 over here. Basically just one strategy, momentum scalp, but this goes hand in hand with this strategy. So they're not really two different strategies. They're just one with an extra requirement. Will's asking, do you have a daily target or you just trade when there's an entry between 6:30 and 8? So I just trade between 6:30 and 8. Well, there's no real target for me. I mean, if I have one entry, then I'm fine with that. Typically, it's just one entry. If I could get one entry a day and they all win, then it adds up to a lot of profit at the end of the week, right? So, like, for example, last week, I only took a couple of trades last week, right? So I took, how many did we take? Took 4 trades last week, right? Basically like one a day. I think on Tuesday we took 2. Monday, no trade for Forex, I mean for US 30. So I took 2 trades on Tuesday, 1 trade on Wednesday, 1 trade on Thursday, no trade on Friday. So I only traded Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then my profit for that week was pretty nice, right? So I locked in last week. Yeah, so I did pretty good last week, right? I just took 4 trades. So I don't really have a profit goal because you can see how much it adds up, right? Because I have multiple accounts. Obviously, if you only have one account, then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Divide this by 6. This is how much I would have made for one account, which is still not that bad, right? 3,000. So for me personally, I don't really have a goal. If I have one trade a day, that's perfectly fine. Because I do have multiple accounts. So it adds up to a lot at the end of the week, especially if I'm taking quality trades and not really looking for anything risky. So for me, I don't really have a daily goal. I just have maybe like one trade goal, maybe. But if I don't have any trades, then I'm not going to force anything. Like I don't feel the need that I need one trade. I can go days without trading, and they still add up to a pretty good profit at the end of the week. So I'm gonna step away for like a few moments, guys. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just let you guys have some time to think about it. And if not, we'll wrap it up for the day. So I'll step away for a few moments and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Standing my desk up real quick. So I don't see any other questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think this might be it for today's session. I'm willing to stay on here and answer questions, but we don't really have anything else to cover. So if you guys, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to post up everyone's profits. So if you guys haven't posted your profits in the groups or send them to me, feel free to send them to me now, and then I'll be going over everyone's profits for today. So everyone did pretty good. Kevin over here with 11,000 off his FTMO, his TD Ameritrade locked in 11,000 here as well. His Hanko trade account, $40 there. Patrick over here, 3,900. C Suk at 6,450 for the day. Barack over here, 6,000. And Nelly over here, almost 7,000 for the day. Again, Brock, 3,000. So, if you guys, here's the thing, guys, if you guys are not profitable, reach out to me, because there should be no reason why you guys are not profitable. Looking at the results for like the past couple of weeks. Let's see. So last week. Okay, so for this past week, we had 4 wins, 0 losses. The week before that, 4 wins, 0 losses. So there's been like no losses for the past 2 weeks. Let me look at November real quick. So if you guys are not profitable, there's something that you're doing wrong, right? You're either over trading, you're trading outside the live session, or you're doing something on your own. So the thing is, our main goal here is for everyone to be profitable, right? If everyone's profitable and you're like one of the few people who aren't, you got to figure out what your problem is, whether it's taking too many trades, whether it's trading on your own, whether it's, you just got to figure out what your issue is and then zone in on that. Because if everyone's profitable and if you just stick to the live sessions, you guys should have like literally no problem. Looking over here, like we haven't had a loss since November week 1. So we had literally straight wins. We had all wins, 4 wins last week, 4 wins the week before, November week 4, 4 wins, November week 3, 6 wins, November week 2, 5 wins. November week 1, 1 win and 1 loss. We haven't had a loss in like about a month. So you guys should be profitable. There should be no reason for you not to be profitable right now. The only reason you'd be profitable is if you're making mistakes that need to be resolved. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me at sean@kodikaitrades.com, or you guys can always message me on Telegram. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to get off this live session. I'm going to record the results for today, and then I'll see you guys back here for tomorrow's live session. So other than that, I think that's about it. Yeah, no problem, Patrick. So I'll see you guys here tomorrow.